Folks, welcome to another damn week. This is your pop culture roundup. With us as always, by the way, she is on this coast. She is on the West Coast. And she's going to talk more about why she's on the West Coast on the Snarkbait Patreon. So make sure you are signed up to that. But we have, once again, the Snarkbait co-host, the still newly married, the one and only Sophie Ross Brooks. Sophie, you just woke up from a nap, which I was telling you, I love that even when you are girl bossing, you take time for a nap.
Oh, of course. I always need time. Also, like, I'm just saying, this is giving such a throwback, like, Ryan and Sophie, like the fact that I'm in bed without like my mic or like my ring light. Like if you're watching on YouTube, this is vintage. Ryan
Yeah, but by the way, I will say you look like you have a ring light on you. I think that you are in your prime, Sophie. I think you are in a modeling girl boss era that I think you are not flying too. I think the sun is flying too close to you right now.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But it's so funny. Like, don't do this because when you look up like Ryan Bailey, Sophie Ross, or whatever, like our original YouTube, like right when Ryan started like posting on YouTube, I was so fucking disgusting in these recordings because I wasn't used to like the video aspect.
I don't even think anything about that at all. Like, it's so interesting that you think that. Like, I just assume that, I mean, I hate video anyway, so I just assume it's going to look like shit, but I never thought that you looked like shit at all.
Oh my God, you guys, like those early videos of us. Oh my God, I was so disgusting. And like, yeah, now I get ready for our recordings. I'm barely ready today. So this is just,
oh my God. Well, guy, I mean, I guess I should think more about that. I'm trying to actually take better care of myself right now and trying to like inch towards looking better. Great.
Don't fish for compliments.
I'm trying to look the best I can. And it's only so much I can do, folks. Oh, by the way, Sophie, I went hiking at Runyon Canyon, which just for the audience's clarification, this is the same canyon that you saw Scheana and Michelle on the Valley hike a couple weeks ago.
Did you get some honey?
I was going to get some honey from Michelle's new boyfriend that she potentially cheated on Jesse with. No, I didn't get any honey, but this was just confirmed to me because we were hiking and then some girl said, "Oh, Adam Sandler's up here." And I was like, "No way." And then I didn't see Adam Sandler, but then somebody on Threads just said, "Oh my God, Adam Sandler was at Runyon." And that's a celebrity that I think do you ever do that where you're like, if I saw this celebrity, what would you say to them?
Yeah. So like, yeah. What did you?
Well, like, so for like half of the hike, I was like, do I go with like his acting work, like Punch Drunk Love and Uncut Gems? Or do I say Happy Gilmore? I'm looking forward to the sequel. And here's the thing. If I saw him, I'd say nothing. But in my head, I was like, what would I drop? Would I be like, Chalamet? Like do one of his weird voices? Chalamet! And I didn't see him at all. So, but that was exciting, man. That really put a little oomph in my step, you know?
Oh my God.
Did you see any celebrities while you were and by the way, so I don't get any comments. We were going we were going to hang out. It didn't happen. So there's no weird thing here.
No, exactly. Ryan's also a very busy man. So we were in LA for like less than 24 hours, honestly. Christy lives in Orange County. So we drove up just for like one day, basically, and Ryan was like hosting some red carpet, and then he had some big interview. He just like is the busiest man alive, and we were only there for like 24 hours.
So by the way, don't say, because we were going to do it, it just didn't happen. So, and but isn't it interesting because you just met Christy for the first time, right? Like like. How has that been? Which is always like, because I remember the first time meeting you, and it had been a long time since we had started recording before we met for the first time. But it's very interesting, like how podcasting and kind of parasocial relationships, you're just used to not actually ever seeing that person in person.
Oh my God. I mean, Christy and I talk every single day, pretty much like all day over text. So it feels like we just like have known each other for years. It's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, it was like our first time meeting IRL. We were like, oh my God, this is so
crazy. What if Christy was like, oh my God, Sophie smells in person?
Yeah, I'm like, Do you like hate me yet? I'm just like waiting for you to like hate me and think I'm gross now that you know me in person.
Okay, let's get into this. Now, Sophie is still having 10 minutes to go on this episode of, we have the third season premiere of And Just Like That. That's right,
Yeah.
folks. It is back, showing that ladies can be sexy into their 50s, potentially their 60s. There's a couple moments that I think are just classic and Just Like That. Not classic Sex in the City, but classic and Just Like That. What do you think I'm going to say are classic moments from this episode thus far?
Aiden spitting into his hand.
Okay, so folks, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to spoil this for you right now. There's a ridiculous plot line where Aiden and Carrie fall back in love at the end of last season, but his son gets into an accident and he has to leave. And Carrie's like, what about me? And he's like, I got to be there for my boys. And then they're not really going to communicate for like 5 years. It's like super like a barely a storyline that they can hang on to. And then he's like, I've had a couple beers, so I'm in my truck. I had to call you. And he's like, touch yourself for me. Touch yourself. And already I was watching through like my finger. I was like, oh no, oh no. And then, and I can't tell if this is in the script or if this is a flourish that, you know, the actor playing Aiden, he spits into his hand for some lubrication. And I have to tell you, I was out. I was like, and then he honks the horn and he goes, oh my gosh, I just shit myself a little.
So you think that was like some John Corbett improvisation?
Yeah, I think he's like, wouldn't this be cool as an actor if I spit on my, because people are going to be like, how's he doing it dry? Like, this to me is what I love and about And Just Like That, is like scenes that you just do not need, you do not want. It makes you feel really weird about like life in general. And then Carrie has a cat watching her while she's touching herself, so she fakes an orgasm. Like the show is so... It's so far from reality, and I will watch every damn episode. But to me, this is the epitome of a hate watch, and it is nothing like Sex in the City is its own like kind of brilliant thing that had its time and place. This takes place on Mars, I think.
It's the worst show I've ever seen. It's the best show I've ever seen. Yeah,
exactly. And the other thing, I laugh out loud when I like talk to you or I'm on the podcast, but when I'm in my normal life, I'll laugh here and there, but I'm kind of silently laughing in my head. The other scene was when Miranda, I have one ball. I'm Steve. She was at the gay bar and she couldn't get any, like she didn't have any action. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I did not see this coming. Fucking Rosie O'Donnell shows up.
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell is kind of the new Shay, apparently. Miranda's new love interest.
Whoa, no.
And she was a virgin.
So Rosie O'Donnell, she's a virgin, but she also is a nun.
Yeah.
She's a nun virgin. And just there's a scene with Rosie and Cynthia Nixon playing Miranda the next day, and Rosie reveals that, that Miranda took her virginity, and it was all too much for me. Like, did you get to the scene where she's in the Wicked outfit at the end?
Oh my God, no. So I have like 10 minutes left.
Okay.
Premiere.
Well, get ready.
It was a little bit hard to get through, I'm not going to lie.
Oh my God.
Certain points.
Rebecca and I were watching it Thursday night, and I let's just watch 10 minutes of it. She was like, oh God, are we ready for this? And I was like, yeah, let's watch. And we watched the whole thing. And then she was like, oh my God, get to the next episode. But I was like, they're putting out one a week. Thank God. Because I don't think we could handle this as a nation if they just put out all of the episodes at once.
No, we need like some time.
Yeah, we need time. We need time to heal in between episodes.
Yes.
But I'm kind of glad it's back because it hit, like, it's so not good, but at the same time, I was thinking about watching it again. That's how much I hated it.
I do. You know what? Like, part of me is very, very, very nostalgic for Shay. Like, I do kind of having the whole gang back together. And it's like, where's Shay?
But and by the way, if you've listened to So Bad It's Good, for first and second season, we talked a lot about Shay Diaz. In fact, we have a merch store where we sell Shay Diaz merchandise, I believe. I think they're still up there. And instead of Dre Day, I think it was Shay Day. And we just dumb merchandise that I think is beautiful. But Shay Diaz, the show is so bad, you almost miss Shay Diaz.
Exactly.
Oh my
Exactly.
God.
And
Speaking of
yeah,
that,
like let's not pretend that we actually liked Shay Diaz. Like everyone hated Shay Diaz, but we're like, but where's Shay?
I mean, if the show is going to be bad, why can't it be bad with Che?
With Shay, exactly.
This is actually
Amazing.
well, the scene with him spitting into his hand reminded me of the scene when Che was finger blasting Miranda in the
Stop.
kitchen. No, that's what it
Stop.
was. Sophie,
Please don't.
I didn't write it.
Oh my God.
Sophie, I didn't write that scene.
Not
That wasn't
say
me.
finger blasting Miranda in the kitchen. Oh my God.
Is it
But
what is
yes,
that? Finger
same
loving?
energy. Same energy. Also, like, I don't
Wait, why
know.
can't that be Dark Energy Tuesday?
No,
Just
it
sex
really
in
is.
this, just the and just like that scenes.
It's nefarious energy. So I'm not a guy, obviously.
What?
No, I'm gonna
Take
say
that,
like,
Reddit.
is that is that like like do you guys usually spit in their hand when they do that?
Okay, this is how insecure I am. This is way too much information. I never have. And then I was like, have I been doing it wrong for these last 40 plus? Like, have I been doing it wrong? Are you supposed to spit in your hand?
Yeah, you tell me, Ryan.
Well, no, I think this is a conversation you need to have with your husband as well. Like, is he back home with you in LA? Is he
Ryan,
spitting in his hand?
don't bring Henry into this. We're talking about you.
No, I never have. But by the way, the next time that happens, I'm going to try. I'll spit in my hand and I'll let you guys know how that all works out.
Special.
Guys, so that's a highly recommend for the third season of And Just Like That. Like, it is really, I almost want to recap the entire show. Okay. Oh, also, I posted this in my stories on Thursday. There was like a review, I think, in Variety, and Just Like That. And it was like this, like, hey, it's not too bad. It was like a really kind of it was like I guess this word, like the review wasn't like raving. It just said, yeah, this is okay. It was like this is okay. And I open up my DMs and guess who has responded to, like, at first I thought they were talking to me, and then it was Jax Taylor. Jax Taylor was like, oh God, another season. And I was like, oh shit. And like, okay, but then this is a little bit of an exclusive. I have not responded back to this one yet. On Friday, I wake up. I had a really long night from like working and then working on the podcast. Wake up, I go to my DMs. Jax Taylor's in there again. And he writes, ouch, really taking a beating. And I don't know. I have not responded back. I do not know if that means.
What was he referring to?
Sophie, I don't know. My fear is he's listened to the show. My
You're not
recap.
Are you not open? Like, did you open it? Is he responding to something, or is he just saying?
No. This was a straight. This was a separate DM from the sex and Just Like That DM. So my fear is he listened to my recap. But I will say, I feel like when I see other people speak about it, I'm actually pretty more chill than other people are. But I have not responded back to him yet, and I don't know. I don't want to be involved in having to explain myself to Jax Taylor. Like, I do not.
Nor
that is
should
not.
You.
What?
Nor should you. Like,
can you do it for me?
Yeah, sure. No, I remember when, what was it when people were like, I can't believe you did like the Valley van with Ryan. Like, he's talked so much shit about you. And Jax was like, you know what? We gotta, what did he say again?
He's like, sometimes, I think it was like, sometimes you gotta forgive or something like that.
Sometimes you gotta forgive. It's water under the bridge.
I don't know, man. But I was just like, why do these people listen to anything that, like, I mean, if I was on that show and if I knew I was having the season that I was having and I was having like the life events I was having, I would stay as far away from social media and anything that involved me, because I don't know the kind of people that would be rising to his defense right now. And I would hope that he would understand that. But it's such a weird, maybe it's about something completely different. And I'm just, but I mean, that puts the fear of God into me, you know? Because I want to like be openly talk what I want to talk and like think what I want to think. And it's not even once you realize they're a real person, but it's like, I'm not out to hurt people's feelings. I'm just out to like say what I feel about these shows.
It's less about hurting someone's feelings and more about like, I genuinely think that Jax Taylor is a terrifying sociopath. So like, that's just like not a
Okay.
great enemy to have, because I think that like we've said, like he is going to end up in prison one day. I just don't know we don't know for what. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of
But
when.
I said this week, Sophie, is that if he does wind up in prison, I think he is assured a pardon at this point. Because we got the Chrisleys getting a pardon. I think
Yeah,
Trump
that's
actually
true.
said at a press conference on Friday, he was asked about Diddy. And I said this a couple days ago on the show. I said, you just wait. I bet Diddy will be considered for a pardon. And he literally was asked that question and he was like, listen, they haven't come through with the ruling on that, but we'll consider it at that time. Like he left the door open a little bit on a Diddy pardon.
Stop.
So Jax would
Oh
be an
my God.
easy pardon, you know?
Oh my God. Stop.
Um,
You're living in the worst timeline.
so it's, well, that's what I was talking about. This was somebody I was saying, isn't it interesting is that when you get really into reality television and then almost politics is so much more dramatic and reality show like than reality shows in this timeline?
Yeah, true. It's
You know,
true.
like Elon did his like goodbye press conference and he fucking had a black eye. And the New York Times had put out a story that he had been abusing ketamine and Adderall. He's like a cast member of Southern Charm at this point, and he was asked about the black eye, and he was like, "Oh, my son, little X. He said he wanted to hit me, and I said hit me, and it left a bruise." His 5-year-old son, he asked to hit me, which, by the way, I heard it's actually because Stephen Miller, who works in Donald Trump's office, his wife was hooking up with Elon. Anyway, it's insane. It's like the Valley.
Your Elon impression. He's doing ketamine therapy with Jen Affleck.
He's doing this season on the Secret Lives of Mormon. Elon Musk was at Elon Musk is in Provo, Utah. I saw him at Swig earlier this week. Okay, so and just like that, we'll get into the Valley a little bit. Also, there was a headline that Brittany has started dating this Emmy award-winning singer, songwriter, music producer Will Gittins. And did you see that little thing she posted in her Instagram stories? Of like she was like a guy was behind her and she was blocking him at the gym, and it was kind of like a soft launch.
I couldn't figure out what was real and what was like this new campaign with Keels.
I think that was not a part of the campaign with Keels, but
So she actually is dating someone.
I mean, I believe that seems to be out there, you know, like that it's this guy, Will Gittins. And she went to his concert in Hollywood. And yeah, I mean, but you mentioned the campaigns, and I wanted to ask you about this because you follow influencer culture, and Snarkbait definitely focuses more on that. But I was thinking about this, you know, because you're watching this episode of The Valley, and obviously Jax is not paying the mortgage, and there's a lot of money at stake. And then I notice on Brittany's Instagram, she's doing campaign after campaign, and you've got to strike while the iron is hot. Like, what do you think when it comes to reality stars? Because I think Brittany's very different than Ariana Madix in a lot of ways. Even her story is very different. How do you think brands approach wanting to get behind a reality star?
I mean, you might as well, like you said, strike while the iron's hot. Like, I do not blame any reality star for taking up every single opportunity that they're offered. And I also think that a lot of brands have been leaning into Bravo stars a lot in recent years. Like, remember the whole like Goldfish versus Cheez-Its with Lindsay
Summerhouse
and Carl and Summerhouse? Like, these brands are like very much involved. And I think that part of it might be the fact that like the Bravo audience is very uniquely, what's the word?
Fluid and money?
Well, yeah, that might be part of it. I mean, the Bravo audience is like this large chunk of like millennial women. And I think millennial women are the most, that's the demographic that you want to target the most because they spend the most money.
Yeah.
In the US, millennial women like keep this economy going, but also the fact that they have this like uniquely parasocial relationship with their favorite reality stars. Like we feel like a lot of Bravo stars feel like they know these people because we've watched them on TV for so long. It's a very like unique audience, I would say.
Yeah. And I was just like seeing the campaign after campaign. And my thing is, as you get more into this, I want to know who Brittany's team is that's pushing for these campaigns, or, you know, you got to, like I said, strike while that iron's hot. So you're going to take as much as you can take. And like Keels is a big brand. Like that's like a big
I love
one, right?
Keels. I even use Keels products. I love Keels. Yeah.
Whereas Jax Taylor is probably not getting the same, if at all, any brands, which, by the way, he is still doing this kind of podcast tour. I think they canceled some dates, but he was in, I think, Philadelphia this week, and there was some great TikTok videos. Did you see this? Of him watching the
there.
Well, I didn't. She didn't go around and pan the audience, but it was like up close, and it was Jax watching this week's episode of The Valley, and he has a chair to the side, and he was just eating ice cream and shaking his head while watching the episode. Like, that's like Inception of like, could you imagine, especially this past week's episode where Brittany's going off on Jax going, he got a place near Tom Schwartz. And Jax is just sitting there eating ice cream on stage. Like, we've gone too far in celebrity culture. Like, would you pay to watch Jax watch people talk shit about him on screen while he's eating ice cream?
No, I'm so fucking, I need to watch those, first of all. No, who is paying to see In the Mind of Jax Taylor live on tour?
Well, it feels like a Nathan Fielder prank. It feels like something.
No, it really does.
I was just like, wow. And then I've got to reach out to that girl because I think I reposted her TikTok, but I would love to talk to somebody that was there, boots on the ground, to like, what is the vibe? Like, is there palpable anger on his behalf? Are they laughing? Is he laughing at himself? I have so many questions.
No, there's no way. He's like incapable of laughing at himself. Like, he takes everything as a personal slight. I'm sure that this has been like just so infuriating for him, watching everyone turn on him because of his bitch ex-wife. The whole mortgage thing, like, obviously, just like, what a fucking piece of shit. The fact that
I'm waiting to hear that he's investing in Bitcoin. I feel like we're about to hear that.
My God, like, he's such a fucking idiot. He really is.
Just real quick, I just want to actually plug your Instagram if Jax is listening to this right now, at Sophie_Ross, or is it at Sophie Ross?
You don't even know my Instagram handle?
No, I do, but it's like knowing somebody's phone number. It's like it's in there as Sophie.
No, I know everyone's Instagram handle by heart.
I do not know that at all.
Okay, well,
I'm just trying to give it to Jax if he has any comments on this episode.
At Soph_Ross.
What did you think? What's
also,
that?
the fact that when they do the little, I saw a tweet, I think it was like, oh my God, it was like prostitution whore on Twitter, who said, this is what it's like when it shows a video of Jax, like one of those videos from rehab that he films of himself, and it was Jigsaw, like the little Jigsaw videos from the Saw movies. That's what it feels like. But when he's like, I get to see my son today, my son, like, now that someone pointed that out, where like he only refers to Cruz as like being his property, like he never says Cruz, he says my son, my boy. Like, he sees Cruz as just like his property, an extension of himself. And also the fact that fucking Brittany, the way that she talks about Jax in front of Cruz, you could see that, like, even like the camera people, the Valley
crew
was like zooming in on the fact that Cruz is sitting right there while
not sitting. He's like throwing himself over couches and stuff. He's always doing like acrobats while they're talking about Jax. He's like throwing himself on the floor and throwing it's wild.
Oh my God.
Well, even think about Isabella. The way the kids are involved in the Valley is the darkest part of the Valley. You take Jax out of it. Dark. Like the Isabella with like Nia and Michelle talking about Jesse, and like, she said, Mommy, you're a disaster, Jesse. You're a disaster. I do Isabella as a truck driver. Like, Mom, I want Dad at your next wedding. Come on. Like, Isabella is fully cognizant of what her mom is saying.
Oh, she is. It's so fucking dark.
Well, I brought this up. Did you, like, I know your family. We were talking about last week, I think, that time you ran away and you hid for hours and, like you really got yourself in one. What was the earliest memory? Like, could you remember adult conversations that your parents were having around you that they thought you were not cognizant of at all?
Honestly, no, because I feel like my parents always had the wherewithal to like not do that.
They're grown-ups. Yeah. I don't have that memory either, but it seems like on the Valley, everybody's having those dark conversations around their kids.
Oh, 100%.
Did you
Like,
see?
ugh.
Did you see? And I know you probably didn't listen. I didn't listen either, but I saw clips from Janet's interview on the Nick Viale podcast, the Nick Vial show, and the other thing, like, is there? And by the way, I want to do this, Maritza, if you're listening, we need to do this with like an ad for So Bad It's Good. Every interview, he makes it seem like it's an announcement for nuclear war. It's like, tomorrow, the most intense go. Like, it is like, I almost shit myself every time I watch, I'm like, oh my God, what's about to happen? And then it's just like Janet talking about the Valley. But
Janet,
it is so, it makes it seem like it is a world earth shattering event. And I think it kind of works because it scares me every time I watch those clips.
Going deeper.
We face Janet Elizabeth on our turf.
Oh my God. I can't.
Yeah, but Janet was on that podcast and revealed, I guess, a lot of information. We're still talking about Danny drinking in this pantry closet, which I think Danny obviously has some sort of issue with alcohol if he's going to grab Jasmine's butt. Bless you. But I don't know why it's going to, like, I don't know. I'm kind of just at like,
They just need a storyline. They just need a storyline, and Jason is just as bad as Janet. I've come to realize.
No, you really think so?
I mean, he's also bad. It makes sense why they're together. He's not some sweet, innocent. He's no angel either, sweetheart.
But I think like that, like, of course that's your wife. You do have conversations about what's happening. So I didn't think she was like note prepping him on that scene, but I do think you're going to pick up things that your partner feels about and you're going to feel similarly to them.
I don't know. It seems like she put him up to that.
Yeah. And how excited were you to see Lala this week?
Please
1 to 10.
I actually was like, it like actually pissed me off. I was like, the Valley is so good. Like, we don't need anyone else. Like, we really, really, really don't. We barely need Jax. We definitely don't need Lala. And it's the fact that Lala was like, I'm for the girls, Jesse.
Yeah. Oh, you weren't for the girls last season. Like, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it is so weird when these people are like, I'm going to take down a narcissist. I'm like, you couldn't even take down Sandoval. Like, you went the wrong way. Exactly. And the audience does not have enough time in between those two events to like think of you as the reliable narrator or the person that knows everything about everything. And I almost think Lala shot her load too quickly with trying to yell at Jesse immediately instead of trying to ingratiate herself in with the group before making that big, like, look at me. Yeah, like, it almost was 2-star making.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, oh my God, you so just want camera time. It was very obvious. And then Scheana, I like how, so Lala is like bitching out Jesse just out of nowhere. And then Scheana walks up.
Wait, anybody, this is for people watching YouTube. This is like, okay, narrate it.
So, wait, narrate it. Am I Lala?
So, you're Lala and Jesse, and then I'll be Scheana in the clip.
You're calling the mother of your child a whore and a slut. I think you're a narcissist and you're a dangerous person. Yeah.
So the audience that are listening to this, what I did was I put myself out of camera frame and then I hopped in when Lala started talking.
Yeah, exactly. It was like she clearly just wanted to like she knew this was being filmed. It just wanted
to like, be. Of course.
God.
And by the way, I don't somehow begrudge that of Scheana of like, yeah, you're there to film. Like, I don't think they're actively there to enjoy that party, you know?
No, like you know what? I'm a Scheana apologist. I can't be mad at Scheana really ever. It's just Lala. It's Lala for me.
So, but the Valley, I think, firing on all cylinders. The other thing I was talking about with Rebecca was that, is this kind of a show which is very different than other reality shows where there are no stars. And but what I mean by that is that like there's not one person that you're like, God, they've got everything going for them.
I mean, aspirational like reality stars are pretty hard to come by these days. I feel like for the most part, like we look at reality stars still as like, oh, you're fun to watch. I'm glad that like, that like I don't have this life.
Well, I mean, even Brittany, who is considered kind of like the de facto, I guess, female lead based on the situation, I don't consider Brittany a star. I just consider
No.
we're watching what's going on in her life.
Doute, if anything, is the star of the
Okay,
valley.
that you know what that is true, and Doty's has kind of been able to do it her way. Like I just really, and by the way, her
Yeah.
straw work, she loves sipping out of a straw in her scenes, and she's doing amazing straw work this season. Have you
Oh
noticed
my
that?
God. I also was cracking up when her and Luke sat down and she was like, "It's so hot out. You want to get like hot eggs and meat?" And he was like, "Yeah."
She started that scene, I think, like by belching. She was like, "Bah, it's hot out here."
Yeah. No, but it's funny. Like, it literally was so hot yesterday in LA. It was like 95 degrees. It was insanely hot.
And it was really cold the week before, Sophie. So you got
Yeah.
here at like really nice weather time, but it's
Oh my
like
God. But it was
unusually
like
hot.
brutally hot yesterday. And we like went to Great White.
Oh yeah.
We went to one. I've been to a couple of their locations. We went to the one in Larchmont or whatever, which I had never
Yeah.
been to this area before. But we were sitting down and I was like, "Yeah, I do want hot eggs and meat." Even though it's 95 degrees out, I was like thinking I had Doty's like voice in my head. I was like, I do want hot eggs and meat.
Well, you're like a caveman. You'll do that.
I
Okay,
am.
so moving away from the Valley, Uba Hassan from Real Housewives of New York, who knows if she's going to be picked up for the next season. She just announced she's engaged today. So they got engaged. They did a beautiful photo shoot. It looked like it was like in the desert or something, but beautiful. Very happy for Uba Hassan. She's been dating this guy for like 3 years. And so good for her. I'm very happy for Uba.
Same.
So also, I guess the big news this week were the Chrisleys from the reality show The Chrisleys Knows Best, which, by the way, I've never watched a full episode of The Chrisleys. Have you?
No, but remember we kept being like, who is keeping this show like on the air? Like who watches the show? We like actually I remember being confused about the fact that Chrisley Knows Best was such a long running, like it was always on.
Yeah. Well, and then they would do weird things where it's not even a Bravo show, but for some reason you would see it late at night on Bravo. They'd be airing like 4 hours back to back.
It was like syndicated on several networks.
Yeah, it was
In a
really
way that like 99.9% of reality shows are not. Like
no,
I don't know.
Completely agree. Well, so Todd and Julie Chrisley were, obviously they're saying there was like a 30 million in loans from a bank. It was fraud, all of these things. And by the way, one of the, alleged reasons that this all happened was because one of Todd's business partners, also rumored to be his gay lover, threw him under the bus. And Donald Trump gave him and his wife an unconditional pardon this week, and their daughter Savannah, right? Savannah Chrisley has been pushing this. So from a daughter's perspective, best daughter in the world. And I will say, I talked about this the other day, and a lot of people didn't come after me, but had really strong opinions about how I talked about the Chrisleys, like real deep fans of the Chrisleys.
What?
And
who are fans of the like?
Well,
you're
said
a fan
that
of
they
the
got a
Chrisleys,
raw
like,
deal.
why?
Well, said they got a raw deal. And
He stole like $36 million.
They said that was like, it was a witch hunt by the IRS. And then somebody on Spotify threatened me and was like, well, you're giving yourself bad IRS karma and you da da da. And I'm like, what are you like? What? What are you like? I screenshotted that. I was like, what is going on in the world? But anyways, don't worry, folks. They are out. And Lifetime was already filming a new reality show with the daughter. So they picked back up cameras like Bravo to film the release of Todd and Julie Chrisley. And you will be seeing that on Lifetime Television, the network that also does Gypsy Rose's Life After Lockup. So Lifetime is becoming the place that if you go to prison, you will have a reality show upon release if you are of note.
The Felon Network.
Well, it didn't Lifetime. It was like TV for women, and now it's like TV for prison.
Yeah. My God, the fucking Chrisleys.
But anyway, they already have a deal. Like they already have TV deals. Todd did a press conference, which, by the way, I will say, I was reading Todd's press conference notes. If he is to be believed, I do appreciate the things he has to say about prison reform. He was talking about minorities in prison. He was, he's like, and he was saying he was going to really work on this. You never know with these people if they're actually going to go through with working for other people. But he said
he was like, he felt bad for the men he was leaving behind.
I'm sure, man.
I think that he low-key like I think that he's actually low-key sad that he got pardoned. Like, he didn't want to
Oh,
leave. He was having, I think, a time.
well, that's what he said. He said he was able to like walk, like, because it was a minimum security prison. And he was joking about the muscle he has and, you know, that it's just clean living in there. And he was able to communicate the word of God to a lot of the people there. And I look forward to hearing from the other prisoners around him. But it seems like he was having a good time. And I hope, you know, I mean, like, it's very interesting. And then like, I don't know if this was to capitalize on this. Did you see Jen Shah's post yesterday?
Didn't she? I couldn't figure out if this was real or not. She
No,
like
very,
wrote
very
letters to
real.
her fans.
So this is through an intermediary. This was posted on her Instagram. It's a photo of her in prison. You wouldn't know it. It looks like literally the front of my junior high. It's like a kind of a parking lot, beautiful trees. I don't see any gates around there, and she's jumping rope. She looks great, by the way. She's getting a real good sweat in, and she offered an update on her official website, and she said, Bismillah, which is an Islamic phrase meaning in the name of God. I pray that my supporters are shamazing and doing well. Over the past month, my team had shared with me the many loving messages provided by supporters. I've heard about the Met Gala references, the infamous gif of my feet touching the snow and the heels from Salt Lake City, and my personal well-being. I am in great spirits and well. And she went on to thank everyone. She said, the consistent love and admiration from my supporters, my loving family, and my faith keeps me going as I make it through this rehabilitative journey of coming home soon. I wanted to share a personal image that I mailed to my team of one of my shamazing workouts. I remain consistent in my passion for fitness and helping other inmates achieve similar goals. You will see more soon. I can only control what I can control, the note concluded. I like the love and admiration from my supporters. Is there people admiring Jen Shah in prison?
Yeah. Yeah, apparently.
Do you think Jen Shah was a big Kamala Biden girl? Do you think she's going to go to Trump and try to get, I mean, they keep reducing her sentence anyways.
She doesn't even need to get, she doesn't need to get pardoned because her sentence gets reduced every single day. Remember when we were like, what counts as good behavior? Saying please and thank you.
Yes. Yeah. This Jen Shah has said all of her pleases and thank yous. She's not wearing white after Labor Day. She's doing everything exactly the way it's supposed to be done. But I wonder if she put out that statement yesterday because it was like on the heels of the Chrisleys. Like it's a way to kind of generate more publicity about a reality star behind bars.
Honestly, that's a really good theory. I didn't even think of that, but that like tracks. It was so random. Again, I like could not discern if this was like fake or not. Like I feel like it was something also that a Bravo fan would like write as a joke. You know what I mean?
No, this was like, I totally understand what you mean. Because like in this day and age, you really do have to like look at everything because AI images and just like I've made tons of joke posts. So you really, but this was very real. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But also, how pissed do you think she is that like Real Houses of Salt Lake City, she definitely thought the show would like fail without her. And now it's like no one, I don't think anyone is pining to get Jen Shah back. Like,
no, I think in fact, people have strong opinions. It's like Lala in the Valley. People, I think the majority would not want Jen Shah back on the show, even though I think there's no way she will not be back on Salt Lake at some point.
I don't know. I mean, you're probably right, but like she was like not even fun to watch in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
like,
I think
she was too put on for the cameras.
It was like she had watched every season of Real Housewives and threw everything at the wall. She did every extreme, every trick in the book. And, you know, there's always room to, and I just didn't like what she inspired in the other cast members. Like Heather was protecting her all the time. I just didn't like that.
And not to mention that she like literally like, basically abused elders emotionally, financially. Like, I just, oh my God. I've said it before, like nothing makes me more upset than like elderly people being harmed in any way. So fuck Jen Shah forever, honestly.
Okay, good. That's we're in agreement on that. I do wonder, since she is in that prison with what's her tits from Elizabeth Holmes. She's in there with Elizabeth Holmes. In this dino pill. She's in there with Elizabeth Holmes, and Jen Shah had already been in there for months and months and months before Elizabeth Holmes was in there. So I was kind of thinking, is like Elizabeth Holmes the Morgan Freeman character in Shawshank Redemption, where like Jen Shah's and Elizabeth Holmes is in like, Jen, get busy living or get busy dying. I crawled through 3 miles of shit to get out of here. Oh my God. Okay, here's a quick hit. Ariana Grande has announced she will be in the Meet the Parents sequel that is filming this fall with Ben Stiller, Robert De Niro, Barbara Streisand, Dustin Hoffman. They are doing another sequel to Meet the Parents.
What's the premise? I love Meet the Parents, by the way.
I loved the first one. I thought the first one was amazing. They did like 2 other ones, but she has announced she's going to be in.
Greg. Can you milk
me? You know what's so funny? This is a little dark, but you know that scene at that table where it's like the mom's ashes and stuff like that, and like De Niro gets all teary-eyed. And I remember laughing at that. And now, and this is so dark, but now that my mom died, I'm like, I completely understand De Niro in that scene. Like, I will tear up every time I talk about my mom and her. You know, like that's such a dark thought, but I swear to God, I had that thought in the last month. So, anyways.
Oh my God.
That is happening. Ariana Grande. But what pisses me off is Ben Stiller's in this, and I'm like, Ben Stiller, don't fucking work on shows. You have Severance. Fucking work on Severance. Period.
Wait, so who is Ariana playing? Like, what's the premise?
I don't know who she's playing. I really don't know who she's playing. It was just announced that she is in the sequel, and Ben's in there, and Robert De Niro, and also Ben Stiller's doing an HBO series about a rock band. And I feel like, but as an actor, he's not directing it. And I'm like, dude, you are the director, co-creator of Severance. You have a job to do, and it took 3 years to do it last time. So I don't need to see, no offense. I like you, Ben Stiller, as an actor, but I don't need to see any more Ben Stiller acting.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I'm just used to it at this point that every show now takes like 3 years for a new season. So,
well, speaking of that, it has been 3 years as of today that Stranger Things season 4 premiered. And today, after we talk, they are going to announce, or they're going to show the first full preview for Stranger Things season 5. Because Netflix is doing their big, it's called Ta-Dum, like all the new things coming up, and they're doing a huge, Ta-Dum. They're doing a huge.
The kids are like menopausal.
Yeah, the kids, that's what I'm saying. The kids all have knee issues. Like, you know, like it really is. I don't know how they explain everybody's like aging. You know, it's supposed to be within the span of like a year, right?
I don't even know anymore.
But you love Stranger Things. I love Stranger Things too.
Yeah. I always watched Stranger Things. Yeah.
But they said that most of the episodes are going to be movie length, like an hour and a half or more.
Okay, if that's their excuse for taking 3 years, like, sure.
I love how hard you are on Stranger Things.
I mean, it's just like so fucking stupid. Like, why have we normalized this?
It is true. Like, there are so many things the government's involved in that I don't want them to be involved in. What I want them to be involved in is making sure this kind of shit doesn't happen with streaming services.
This needs to be like regulated. Like, I don't have that much time left for all I know.
Can we? Yeah, but can't we get RFK on this? Like, this seems like worth, like, we could all, like, by the way, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I think we could all agree on this issue. We need these shows faster. Exactly. This is the first bipartisan bill that, by the way, what if we put this forth? Like, if we went to Congress and actually, like, this is Sophie might not live for the next season of Stranger Things.
Wait, we should filibuster.
I shit myself immediately and then just keep going for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Dude, I had to
really 1 hour and you shit yourself.
Dude, I had to do this red carpet thing. I hosted this red carpet for the Golden Trailer Awards, and it was just me. And it was like, I think it was like streaming or something. And I had to it was kind of like a filibuster. Like, you had to wait in between interviews. So I just had to just talk about random things. I was just like, who's excited for Mission Impossible? Like, it is really hard to keep something going.
And you're wearing a diaper.
Oh, baby, fully wearing a diaper. Okay, so Stranger Things, look forward to that. Congratulations to Haley Steinfeld and Josh Allen. They are getting married this weekend. We saw rehearsal photos. Haley Steinfeld, by the way, really surprised me. She was excellent in Sinners. I was not, I knew her from Pitch Perfect and stuff, but I was not familiar with how good of an actor she is. Sinners was fantastic.
Haley Steinfeld.
Well, I think she's more of like your generation's kind of actor, so I didn't have full appreciation of her until Sinners, but she's getting married. Josh Allen's a football player, right?
Yeah, he is the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills.
Do we like the Bills, or is that a team that...
No, that's a Bengals opponent in the AFC. We
Okay,
always
well,
spank them though.
hopefully this relationship's going to take a lot out of Josh Allen and he's going to
Yeah,
suck this season.
I hope so.
Yeah, okay. Also, huge news, obviously. Taylor Swift bought back her masters from Shamrock Capital, a big conglomerate. The price, everybody was saying $500 to $1 billion, was actually $360 million, which I think Shamrock bought it from Scooter Braun and all that stuff for around $320. So I think they made a little money, but also it was just kind of good karma because Taylor would have tried to probably ruin Shamrock Capital at some time. But she put out this big note on her website, and I will say, my old eyes, the font was so small. Did you see that note she wrote on her website?
No, I didn't read it, but that's actually crazy. I think that the fact that she put out Taylor's version of like all of those albums, obviously,
Except for two, yeah.
Except for two, it totally devalued the original masters, which is probably why she was able to buy. It was actually so smart. She bought it back for probably so much less than they anticipated it would be bought out for.
Yeah, so I think it's a wise investment because remember, they could have sold those old recordings to any movie that they wanted. They could have, and now Taylor gets all of her old videos, all of her old concert films, all of this in that package. And what was so fascinating about this was that everybody, and myself included, kept saying, oh my God, she's going to announce Reputation Taylor's version. She said in the letter, she goes, to be honest with you, I'm only about a quarter of the way through that recording. I really can't, it's been a hard project because I kind of think it's near perfect. So it's been a real hard one. She kind of finished. She said the self-titled was pretty much fully completed. And there are vault tracks on all these. And she said there will be a time and place where this will be released in some way. But it also just goes to show you all of our bullshit detective work means dick sometimes. Like it was a quarter of being finished. She wasn't going to announce shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. So congratulations to Taylor Swift, who actually was also via Kuroda with her new friend, Dakota Johnson. Blake Lively is no more. Dakota Johnson is in.
It's her new Blake Lively.
Via Kuroda, a very nice New York restaurant that she loves. That's where she takes a lot. She took Blake Lively there about 1.5 years ago, but she went there with Dakota Johnson. And there was a funny TikTok I saw of girls, like they were just eating there. And all of a sudden, like Taylor walks in and they like lost their shit, which I thought was funny. So
I can't even imagine sitting in a restaurant. Also, Timothy and Kylie were at some other West Village, or for Charles Prime Rib, I think they were in the West Village. I'm like, oh my God, I just need to like stake out in the West Village, I guess, for all of these fucking celebrities.
Timothy and Kylie, like really hot and heavy at these Knicks games.
Yeah, they were like breathing all over each other and just like kissing in the middle of like they were like having a conversation face to face. Then, yeah, baby. Yeah, go Knicks. I know. A little too much.
Yeah, it's a little too much. So,
congrats. And Kylie reposted that TikTok that was Samantha from Sex and the City saying, honey, I don't get laid if the Knicks don't win.
Oh, Timothy's refusing to give her his little Chalamet if the Knicks don't win. His
little Chalamet.
His little Chalamet. Well, congrats to everybody involved. Sad news, Rihanna's dad passed away at the age of 70. He had been battling an illness. So that was a little pop culture news that just happened. So our hearts go out to Rihanna and her family, obviously. I wanted to get your opinion on this as we start winding down a little bit. Hailey Bieber, Rhode Beauty, her makeup and lifestyle brand, sold in $1 billion deal. Now, this does not mean, obviously, she gets $1 billion. I think her piece of it is like $200 million, but that ain't nothing that's pretty good. $200 million. Yeah. What was your thoughts on Rhode Beauty being sold to an ELF Cosmetics, or is it ELF?
ELF. Good for her. I mean, good for her. I think that we talk about this on Snarkbait on Dark Energy Tuesday, but like she is, I was talking to my Gen Z coworker. I was like, who is Gen Z's Princess Diana?
Who is it?
And my coworker said Gen Z's Princess Diana is Hailey Bieber. Like she is every influencer's influencer. Like she is like just the ultimate influencer. And I don't know what it is. I think it's like her, she's just a trendsetter. Like,
so it's not Kylie. It's Hailey. No, it's not Selena.
It's Hailey because Hailey has that like the clean girl aesthetic, like that whole thing, like she really owned. And like her style, wearing like the oversized leather bomber with like socks and loafers. Like she has this very like Gen Z style that so many people try to emulate. And there's just something so influential about her. Like, I think
Wow.
that she's like pretty and cute and has good style. I don't like worship her, but I'm not Gen Z. Like, I think that Gen
Yeah.
Z people literally worship her. So she
That's
was really
interesting.
smart to like the branding of Rhode. It's like those like just like the branding is very simple and clean and like I don't know. I think she's done a really good job with it.
I was so scared Justin was going to release a statement of like, yo, Haley, remember when I told you you would never sell that for
Yeah.
$1 billion? My bad. Like
Yeah.
how he did with that Vogue cover. Like, and did you see Justin was in a little trouble this week because he was posting like smoking weed next to, like, you could tell his son was on the couch. We need to get Bieber on the Valley.
I did not see that, but holy shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's weird.
God, poor Jack Blues.
Is that, yeah, Jack, old Jack. Sorry about that, buddy.
Old Jack.
Love Island, the new season 7, I think premieres on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, and the cast has been announced. Will you be checking into the villa this season? Because I know
I
you're
don't
not a
know.
Love Island girly.
Everyone always yells at me that
I
I
do
don't
yell
watch
at
Love
you, yes.
Island, but like I don't know, I just don't really care to. I don't know why. It's like such a separate world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hopefully something really intense will happen the first week so we can get you into Love Island.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. Just keep it in the
Yeah.
back of your head. House of Villains season 3 cast has been announced, and it includes Mr. Tom Sandoval.
Yeah. Yeah. Sandoval. There's also Tyson from Survivor, I think.
Yes. Kate
Who else?
Chastain.
Yeah, Kate Chastain.
There's a Big Brother
Yeah.
people, a whole, but it'll be interesting to see what Sandoval we see this season.
Yeah.
Speaking of reality shows and their casting, we talked about this a little last week. Survivor 50 cast has been announced, and Mike White from the White Lotus is a part of this cast. And Boston Rob said that he was offered this, but he turned it down because he said other people need this spotlight more than I do, which I thought was nice.
Good for him. Good for him. I saw Jonathan Penner, who is one of my faves from Survivor, said that he was like in like the final rounds to get picked and was told he was going to be picked and then he wasn't. But
Yeah.
overall, like it seems pretty stacked. There's Ozzy, Sari, Mike White.
Sari.
Mike White, like I feel like that is kind of an unfair advantage.
Oh, very unfair. And that's why I think he'll be voted out first.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's an easy one they can all agree with, but Mike, it's like the Ben Stiller thing. I'm like, great, Mike, but Mike writes that show, White Lotus, by himself. He directs it. He produces it. Like, dude, like, yeah, I mean, like, hopefully you'll get gone first so you can like start working on the White Lotus season 4.
Yeah.
You've got Angela Keeley. You've got Coach Wade, Stephanie LaGrossa, Colby Donaldson. What kind of ticked me off, though, is that they have 4 players from Survivor season 48 that just wrapped up. And I'm like, dude, we just saw this season, and they have a couple players from season 49, which we have not seen yet. And I feel like those 2 seasons shouldn't be involved in Survivor 50 at all. That's my personal take.
I agree.
Also, Ashley Simpson is teasing new music that she will announce on Tuesday. So if you're a big fan of Ashley Simpson, get ready.
Huge fan of Ashley Simpson.
That is very exciting. And then finally today, let's talk about Summer House. What were your thoughts on the reunion, Sophie?
You know how I feel about this season. I'm really over it. I was honestly really upset about the Emerald treatment and how
that story about his family not being to go to his nephew's party. And I think this is a great example of you have to really think about what you get yourself involved in, is that like, this will show a certain aspect of your personality and exploit it because that's what reality shows do.
Yeah.
And we don't really hear enough about stories like what Emerald, like that his family and like a part of his family was weird with him after watching Summer House.
Yeah.
And I don't think enough of the people that go on this show really consider it,
Yeah. Yeah, no. And even the fact that when he was like telling that story, people were still talking over him. Like, it's just, I don't know. I was so disappointed.
And no conversation. Gabby didn't say a damn word.
She didn't. I was also disappointed by the fact that, like, the entire cast was just laughing about Jesse's, like,
the toe.
the toe, like they were all just laughing. Like I felt so bad for Lexi. And like I still maintain that if this happened to Sierra or if this happened to Paige,
oh, nobody
there
be
would
laughing.
be fucking hell to pay. It's just like, oh my God, it just pissed me off, honestly. Like I honestly like just was pissed off the entire time watching it.
And I said this on, I made a TikTok, but it's like, Lexi was talking about that birthday post, and I definitely like that they posted when her birthday party was happening. Jesse posted that he was out to breakfast with Sierra, and I do not think Sierra even realized or cared that it was Lexi's birthday, but I do think Jesse knew exactly what he was doing.
Yes,
He'll never, I think he he pays attention to everything.
I completely agree. And also, like, I love Sierra. I think that Sierra is awesome. I love how vulnerable she is.
The story about her mom and her dad, I thought was amazing.
Her mom and her dad. Yeah, exactly. I really appreciate that about her. She was flirting with Jesse back, which
100%.
Like it's like you don't need to get burned at the stake for it. Like it's okay, but like you can acknowledge it. And I just think the fact that she was going after Lexi once again instead of Jesse, like. It's Jesse is the one that everyone should be mad at, but the way that everyone was like mad at Lexi and even the audience,
but even Sierra pivoting, Sierra pivots to talking about Jesse to, but the way you came at me in your press tour, like I'm like, dude, of course they're going to ask pointed questions to Lexi about Sierra. Like, is she just supposed to not talk about it?
You guys are on a show. She's doing press for the show that you guys are on.
Yes.
And even like the Bravo audience, because the Bravo audience is inherently misogynistic, unfortunately, of course, has already forgiven Jesse. And now Lexi is like enemy number one. It's just it's so disappointing.
It's like, well, even like to a lesser degree, but still like I posted, which I post usually kind of snarky, like what I find funny things. And that last line for the preview for next week of Paige saying, I will never say that man's name again. And I thought it was just very Paige and very, about Craig. And I thought it was very cold and like a great reality show.
She did say Craig.
She said Craig immediately in like 2 minutes into the episode.
Yeah.
Which by the way, I almost thought that was like a Franken edit where you'll see that line and she'll be like, no, I'm joking. I say his name all the time, Craig. Like, I don't know how they edit that. So we might see a completely different take. But I posted that on my Instagram and I can't even bring myself to read the comments because I noticed people are just fighting back and forth of like, she's a bitch. She used Craig. And I'm like, what? Like, guys, I don't hate Craig, but like, my God, like what?
No, I don't think she... Yeah, like I don't think she used Craig. I think that she genuinely loved Craig and then realized it is. I saw someone post about this on Reddit where it's like, well, was it the fact that you didn't see a future with him because you were okay with his lies? Well, you admit that you lied for him, and now it's kind of like, oh, the audience says, well, Craig was always such a liar. So now you're saying that the reason you broke up with him was because he was a liar. Was it because you didn't see a future with him? Maybe it was all of that. Maybe it was the fact that she didn't see a future with him because he's a liar. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You see, Demois posted that she is apparently still with Joe D'Amelio.
No, I didn't see that. Really?
Yeah. So apparently they were together during Memorial Day weekend. That people put the pieces together. She posted a photo of like a Jersey Shore beach that was very similar to what Joe D'Amelio's sister posted. So they were clearly together, and she's just keeping it under wraps. But like, who knows?
Oh my God, it would be cool if she was dating.
Yeah, they could be the same beach, but they also like are maybe not the same beach. Like, who knows?
What if she's dating Pauly D from Jersey Shore?
I mean, that would actually be really interesting. But no, I think
what if she's dating Ronnie? Yeah. No, yeah. Obviously, she's dating this dude, but like, I mean, it is. That's very interesting. And like, I love that. But the last thing with the ring, like, listen, I like Craig, but I do not think Craig bought that ring, period. Like, I mean, like,
did not exist. That ring didn't exist.
But I will say it's got to be weirdly hurtful to like, I mean, but also his own actions that everybody was like dunking on him about the ring. They're all like, no, everybody was like, that's the only thing they all like kind of like do together. They laugh at Craig, like the whole Summer House cast, which I kind of thought was hysterical.
Well, like, how about I watch What Happens Live when he's like, yeah, I returned the ring this morning to the guy. Like, first of all, what guy? And then second of all, you can see that Austin and Shep are like, what? We've been with you all day.
I woke up early. You guys were I didn't want to wake you. You were slumbering like angels. Okay, so folks, Snarkbait, Tuesdays and Thursdays, rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, subscribe to YouTube, go to their Patreon, do all the same for mine as well, but their show takes precedence, so go support.
Stop
and
it.
no, that's all. We're one big Pottern family. Anything else coming up? What are you going to watch on the airplane going back to New York tomorrow?
Oh, so I watched the movie Companion with Sophie Thatcher.
I liked it.
I thought it was really fun. It was kind of like an extended like Black Mirror episode.
Totally.
So that was good. And then we also, like, Christy and I last night were like, should we watch a scary movie?
What'd you watch?
I had never seen Smile before, and it was good.
Yeah.
Good. It was a good scary movie. I liked the movie Smile. And so we're gonna watch Smile 2 tonight.
Yeah, Smile 2's out there as well. I started watching Mickey 17 on Max with Robert Pattinson, and it's kind of like a funny, dark comedy. And I really want to go see, I think I'm going to go see a movie tonight, either Friendship with Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson or the new Mission Impossible. So I don't know which one to see.
Oh, those are such different vibes. Like, what are you more in the mood for?
I don't know. I think I'm just in the mood to not stay at home. So either one, I think is going to be a win.
Mission Impossible is more of a movie that you want to see in a theater, right?
That is very true. Yeah.
But I guess if you want to support, like, I don't know.
But just like 3 hours of Tom Cruise intensity, you got to be ready for that because he means business in everything he does.
Yeah, he fucking does. Yeah, correct.
Okay, Sophie Ross, ladies and gentlemen. Anything else to support besides Snarkbait?
No. Honestly, just
well, enjoy Smile 2 tonight. Tell Christy we all said hi, and go subscribe to their Patreon. So they're going to relive their LA adventure on that, you guys. And we will talk to Sophie next week. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.